Zebec has been exploding to the upside despite the market overall selling off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, Zebec is like the only green crypto or one of the only green cryptos right now. If I go on cryptobubbles.net, we can see, ladies and everything is getting wrecked. Pi minus 20%, Caspa minus 5, Bonk minus 10, right? Was a World Liberty, World Liberty Financial minus 15. I mean, everything is just in the red right now. Everything. I mean, absolutely everything. If we go to the top 101 to 200, we can see, Zebec, it says it's up 10%, and everything else is just bleeding. I mean, bleeding, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, man, oh man, what is going on? I mean, the markets are overall getting exploded, but Zebec, man, I'm not going to lie, this actually pissed me off so much because, ladies and gentlemen, right, the overall market sentiment is bearish, right? We can see red everywhere, and we can see boom, top 1 to 100 red everywhere practically. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you mad? Well, I'm mad because I wanted to buy more Zebec at a cheaper price. I was going to pull the trigger last night, literally last night around this price, but I knew it was going to go down a little bit more. But I was sleeping during this time, and I wasn't really paying attention. Next thing you know, Zebec is just flying. Okay, Zebec is just flying out. We do have a few updates coming from Zebec. We can see major institutional partnership coming tomorrow. So I'm super, super excited to see what Zebec is going to be announcing. Ladies and gentlemen, take a guess. Take a guess in the comments, right? This video will probably be up around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern today. And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, we also have more from Uphold Inc. Simon says, join us this Friday for the Zebec X Uphold countdown to tip off X Space. And we can see, right? So yeah, this Friday, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is going to be happening. 11 trillion in US payroll runs through legacy providers, yet none offer stable coin payroll. We'll see Simon is going to be pretty much making a statement on this. So let's see what he has to say.
The vast majority of that 11 trillion in US payroll volume, it's going through the major payroll providers, the ADPs and the Assures of the world. Yet not a single one of them have yet integrated a stablecoin payroll option within their HCM software suites to date. Obviously, it's been difficult to be in the business of crypto payroll before we had clear regulation in the US, but now Zebec is really eager to be working with leaders in the space like Assure and integrating our technology into their payroll flows. With PayBridge and School Payroll both being part of the Assure ecosystem, we're very familiar with Assure's tech and their world-class client service. And we've used stablecoin payroll really as a way to further upgrade their offering and take market share away from some of the legacy players that are slower to adapt.
There we go. So we can see he made this statement, ladies and gentlemen. Like, listen, guys, I'm more excited about. I mean, this is obviously like, obviously this is the main goal. But man, I'm actually just so curious to see what is going to be happening tomorrow. I am very, very curious. And of course, we can see on the 15th we discussed, the hockey, the not the football, the hockey, the NBA stuff. And I mean, man, it is just an exciting time to be a Zbec holder, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to buy so much more. You know how much I wanted to buy? I wanted to buy an insane amount of Zbec, and this thing just shot up 10%. And I'm going to be a little bit stubborn. I won't lie. I want to be a little bit stubborn. But, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the time to get serious is now. The next few months are going to be the most crucial time of your lives. Okay. We're going to have crypto exploding, and this is the time to get a portfolio review. Right? You got to make sure you have the right cryptos. You don't want any old or dead coins, or you don't want anything that can give you little profits, right? So we provide a portfolio review. We've also been smashing it with the high probability meme coins. We hit an 11x, an 8x, and 5.5x in recent times. We also provide a weekly report on the crypto data, on the crypto analysis, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, on other altcoins as well. You get all this and a bunch more other benefits. Highly recommend joining the private community. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some money. Look, we rank 143 out of 9,519 active cryptos, 390 million market cap, 18 million volume in the last 24 hours. So we're up 43% in volume. So not bad at all. we can see, ladies and gentlemen, boom, 83,000. What did we say? On Monday or Tuesday, we're probably gonna be at 83,000. That's what I said on Friday, I believe. And we can see, like, we just are growing. There's no signs of slowing down. Anytime there's some bearish momentum or correction, it's just part of the markets, right? It is just part of the markets. Guys, I am super, super confident in the Zbec network. Not only, right, am I confident in the technology, and I'm confident in the team, but you guys kill it with the likes, the views, the comments, and the community is just so big. It's just so amazing and active as well. So that's always like a nice cherry on top. You guys are the cherry on top. So shout out to you guys. Seriously, seriously, you guys are amazing. And man, let's break down the technical analysis because damn, this thing, I wanted this thing to go down, at least sweep this area over here. Like I said, I went to bed around this time, so I could have got it probably for like 10 more percent discount, but it is what it is. But we obviously have to see how the daily candles close and the next couple of days go. But we can see, ladies and gentlemen, right? We are overall still in this type of trend. We are kind of in this channel. We are looking to be trying to break out of it very, very often, but we just simply have failed over the last couple of days, right? We did have some consolidation and we sold off. We did talk about the possibility of having some type of manipulation like this. And at this current moment, it seems to be the exact same where we kind of go sideways for a little bit, we sell off, and then we go up, right? Kind of go sideways for a little bit, we sell off, and then now we're going up. Now, of course, it's very important to see how the daily candle closes and to see how the next couple of hours react, because even if the daily candle closes like this, but then after we just go straight back down and engulf over the next 8 hours, let's say 8 to 12 hours, then all this progress is going to be lost, right? The context of the markets are very, very, very important. Overall, September is going to be a weird month. Why? Because we are at the end of the quarter three. So, of course, it's going to be making its final moves it needs to make. But at the same time, in terms of the higher time frame, right? Boom, Zebec is creating these lower highs consistently, right? The blue here and here, and it is creating higher lows consistently, ladies and gentlemen, as well, right? We can see boom, higher lows. So it doesn't really have too much wiggle room, right? Not too much wiggle room. So, Zebec has just been kind of going sideways literally since September. And I don't really blame it too much. We also do have this huge trend line right over here, which I mean, we can see we actually did retest recently. So I guess that's on me for not, just buying straight up. That's why I say something to this, guys. When something's at a great price, you should just buy because something like this can happen, right? Something like this can happen. And even though this is not the guaranteed, um, you know, pump for it to start going up and up and up, right? This is still annoying because it's still such a great opportunity. But yeah, man. Um, Personally, I'm praying on the downfall of Zbec just short term, go down 25% so I can buy some. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, it does look fairly good right now. But we do have to monitor to see how things are going to be going because the thing is, if we do just continue to close lower than these highs right here, we could just be simply forming lower highs. And despite having a nice bounce rejection, right? Like I said, the next few days, even the next few hours could be very, very crucial. And if they just show very, very weak momentum to the upside, then we will slip downwards a little bit lower, back down to 0.0034. But if we do go down there, like I said, personally, that doesn't bother me because I will just be buying more. But right now, things are looking fairly solid. In terms of 3 month candle, right, it's very, very unique. It's very, very unique. See, the interesting is sometimes the 3 month candle can bait you, and that's why you have to look at the context. Because when we look at this 3 month candle, it doesn't look that good, right? It doesn't really look that good. Actually looks pretty bad. And then boom, right? Huge next 3 month candle. So I do overall always prefer when the 3 month candle ends with decent strength. So I would prefer September, generally speaking, to end up on the higher end of like 0.005. At the end of the day, it might not be the biggest thing in the world. We also do, ladies and gentlemen, know that the federal rate cuts did happen last week, Wednesday. Now we said there's going to be a manipulation happening. Oh, it didn't happen, and then things started to go up. And now, obviously, in general, the market is selling off other than Zbec. But here's the deal, people, right? The federal rate cuts pumps are going to be in flow, whether it's this week overall or the beginning of quarter four, it's going to happen sooner than later. I would not be too concerned about these micro moves in general, although this is a positive micro move. I know some of you guys are probably a little bit scared with your other altcoins, but for me, this is just part of the game. Think about it. We've been in much worse position before. But yeah, we're going to be monitoring how the price reacts. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if we do form this lower high, then there might not be something too excited, right? Or too exciting, I should say. Because all we could be doing is just simply going into this 4 hour order block right over here, right? This 4 hour order block, and then we could just be seeing a rejection and going down, right? That's what we could be seeing. Or, ladies and gentlemen, if we do kind of respect this zone and we fail to sell off and we kind of consolidate, then we could do something like this. Like I said, obviously context matters. We have to see what the other data says. But I would just not be too excited just yet. Like, oh, like this is it. This is going to be the reversal, right? Because there's many reversals happening, right? We talk about how pumps. I consider 15, 20, 25% move a pump, right? If I see reversals, people, I'm going to call reversals, but that doesn't automatically mean we're going to the very moon. People need to always understand that there's literally context, right? The markets don't work straight up, and if you believe that, you really need to start educating yourself because you're always going to be disappointed if you think they're going to be going straight up. They only go really straight up near the very end, the last few weeks of the altcoin season, but that is literally an anomaly when it comes to how the markets work regularly. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be ultimately it. I love you guys so much. Let me know what you guys think of Zebec. What do you think about the announcement tomorrow? Let me know everything. So, yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.